Sorry, I didn't mean to do that, actually. That as pranky as that may have seemed, that was completely accidental. Oh, could you imagine? The endless waiting room. I bet it already feels like that. I'm sorry. My bad. As some of you have probably already picked up from the title of things this week, this isn't just any live stream. We are going to do a logic breakdown. We are going to do a logic breakdown of my song For You. Which basically means I'm going to show you what the thing actually looks like on my computer and break down how I made it in as depthful an analysis as is interesting. So, you know, we'll see. I'm excited though. Let me turn down the heater. It's warm enough now. So, I should preface this by saying, like, this is going to be filmed via a live stream, obviously, but it's going to come out publicly as these little YouTube videos every week, maybe 5 minutes, that kind of thing. It won't replace, I don't think, the Conversation With series. I mean, I still have more stuff to edit with Gerard, not to mention, like, I got at least one interview after this planned, so that'll be fun to shoot. But I think these are going to come out midweek and edited down to 5 minutes to make it tolerable. So that'll be in stereo, but this will be in mono, because this is just the live stream, and I had a whole technical fiasco the other night trying to find a way of making this all work. So I'm excited. Someone just said, "You got this," and thank you. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. So, you guys ready? Alrighty. Let's jump right into it. So, this is the logic session for you. This is what it looks like. These are all the tracks. Every instrument, every place that the instrument is playing something, it's all here. This is essentially the equivalent. This is essentially the equivalent of a blank canvas, or more so, one with lots of paint on it by now. But this is an app called Logic Pro X that I use to make music in, and yeah, this was the very first song that I ever produced and engineered completely by myself. I'd like co-produced stuff. I'd co-produced stuff in the past, but I had never fully produced something, and I had certainly never engineered something. Well, I co-engineered Blue Neon, but this is the first song that I really created all by myself, just in a room for, I don't know, maybe a couple months, maybe a month. I forget how long this thing took. Probably around a month. But for any engineers watching this, this was the very first thing. I knew nothing about good engineering, and so there's going to be a lot of flaws, and I had to go through, before actually doing this live stream, I had to go through the project and clean everything, delete a bunch of unused tracks, and rename stuff, and just take all the clutter out so that it would be viewable in some sense. So this is the whole thing. There are, let's see, it says that the track count is 87 down here, but that's, it's somewhere like, it's got to be like 70 something. It's got to be in the upper 70s, let's see, because some of these tracks are also groupings. So let's see. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 87 minus 9. I'm blanking. So yeah, upper 70s. So let me start the screen share recording. And yeah, let's jump right in. So this is the intro right up here. Alrighty, so let's there are two things going on here. There are some guitars and there are some special effects. And let's start simple. Let's go with the guitar. So here's the guitar isolated. And the intro, I basically just wanted it to feel sort of, well, it's an intro. It's a preface to the main thing. And the intro has the same, it's got the same chords as the verse. So I wanted to almost make it feel like you are about to hear something, like you haven't quite entered the song yet. And so when it transitions to the verse, there's a swell. You see the muffling sort of comes off of it. And I felt that was important because the verse and the intro are the same exact. It's just... So I thought it would be cool. To start it muffled and then transition it out of it. So if I were to play it without anything, just clean, it would sound like this. And with the muffling. And the transitional bit, that's just called automation. So if you see this curve here, this is the... I'll show you. So that's the first bit of EQ, but here's where the automation is. So look at this. That's what's causing the muffle. It's called a low pass filter. And it's gonna move. And that's what creates that transition. And I just articulated that movement through that little curve right there. Which, to be honest, I think I did that by hand, which is funny because I haven't done automation like that in a while, so I forget actually how to do that. But that's that part. The other thing that's playing during the intro is all of this special effects. So, if we were to expand that, here is, I know it's a lot, but there are a couple things going on. Mainly we got our little heartbeats, which is actually two. The first one is just doing a little delay. And if I add one underneath, it gets thicker. Subtle, but useful. The other thing that's happening there is also a bit of noise, which is giving the majority of the ambience for the track, so... So that first one, that hospital noise, which is doing a lot for the intro, that's just a sound I got off of Splice. I muffled it. And the other thing that's playing here is restaurant noise. So I pulled out my phone. We were at like a restaurant and I just started recording a voice memo. Because I just wanted like something that wasn't melodic and just sort of constant and still random at the same time. Because I thought it would be cool to... I'd experimented this with in Blue Neon, just adding reverb to things and then muffling that reverb to sort of give a background ambience. And that sound, that restaurant noise, is actually playing throughout the entirety of the song. And it actually, in duration, it lasts, the actual recording's like double the length. So I probably was recording for 10 minutes, that kind of thing. So that and that, along with the heartbeats, sound like this. And then to sort of add to the fact that the guitar was coming unmuffled and transition from the intro into the verse, there is a little riser, which you can see right there. That's just going. I'm also unmuffling the restaurant noise a bit, so if you can hear. So that, with the guitars, with the little riser, gives you this transition. And then we immediately start getting into some other stuff. So now we're on to verse 1. Take me now. Little technical glitch there. Let me move this back. That should fix it. Take me now. I don't know how, but I need someone tonight. Don't think about it. Don't waste a moment. So don't have much time. So, enter the pianos, the drums, and the vocals. Let's start off with the vocals, since they are the simplest element here. This is the lead vocal, and I want to say here that this was horribly done. You have to keep in mind this was my first time ever doing this all on my own. In the past, I had help from other people. I would say, I have an idea for this, and they'd help me do it. But this, it's me in a garage. It sounds terrible. Robert Stevenson, the person who mixed and mastered this, bless his soul, did an incredible job making this song come to life. And when I sent him the stems, which is a term for like the audio, just sort of bounced all the way through so that someone else can work with your project on a different computer. I sent him the dry stems and the wet stems, so with effects and without. And I have to imagine that, especially for the vocals, he took the dry stems without anything on it and just completely redid my signal chain and just made it better, because it's honestly not the best. Take me now. I don't know how, but I need someone tonight. So it's literally me in my garage just recording these. Don't think about it. Don't waste a moment. So don't have much time. So all that's going on there. Bit of EQ. Just take some of the... And I don't think I would redo it the same way, but you can hear the difference. Take me now. Without EQ. I don't know how, but I need someone tonight. So it really takes some of the boominess out. Don't think about it. Don't waste a moment. So it just makes it clearer. And then the reverb's doing a lot to cover up how badly these things were recorded. So enough about that for now. Let's move on to some of the more interesting bits. Let's go to the piano. So you're actually hearing 3 pianos in this part, and they're all digital. because I don't actually own a real piano at my house. One day, perhaps, I'll have a beautiful upright piano and a stereo microphone so that I can play and have the recorded version of a very rich, full-bodied sounding piano. But to start with that, I didn't have that. I still don't. And when I needed to record some pianos, all I had was a virtual instrument of a piano, and it's a contact instrument, in case there are any music people out there wondering. It's called the Grandeur, and there's one instance of a different type of sound called the Giant, and I don't think I'd redo it the same way today. I would probably use a better instrument for it, but here's what the pianos sound like isolated. Once a night, so first and second piano pretty much playing the same thing. I think it's just processed slightly differently, so I thought it would add some thickness. It probably didn't add much, but you know, you're trying stuff out, experimenting. So, for anybody looking to figure out how to play this on piano, this is the MIDI and how it lines up with the notes on the piano, so you can figure out what the actual chords are. This is the basis of it. You know, you can sort of see the notes highlighted here. I don't know how many people are looking to learn the song on piano, but there it is if you want it. So, let me play these two pianos, and then I'll add in the Giant, which is adding a reverby ambience and making the thing sound a lot bigger than it actually is. That's without the Giant. Now I'm going to add it in. That's it on its own. So, all that with the vocals and the guitars sound like this. Take me now, I don't know how, but I need someone tonight. Don't think about it. So what we're missing now is rhythm. And this is when we transition to the drums for the verse section. So, these are all the various drum tracks, and I'll play them on its own. You know, it actually might be more... I'll explain the drums in a further section of the song. We'll get to it. By the time we get to, like, chorus 2, a lot more stuff starts happening. But I'll throw them in, just so you guys can hear the whole thing. So this is drums and piano working together. And when you add in that little riser, remember that we talked about, all of a sudden, it hits a lot harder. With guitar. So, it's already moving, but it's missing sort of an ambience, sort of a place, a space. So, for that, let's add in the rest of the special effects. Once a night, I love that so much. That's probably my favorite track of the whole production. It's just that sound. But that pretty much covers it for the verse section. And the pre-chorus is pretty much the same. The only difference we have is the bass drops in. So, let me play a bit of that. If you don't defend me, So it goes boom, boom. There we are. Alright. So, pretty straightforward. Now we're going to chorus 1. Here's where things start to pick up. And I'll play it. Yikes, loud. Okay, let me turn off the gain. So pretend that you love me. Pretend you're not lying when you say that you still dream about me, like I still do for you. Boy, are there some exciting stuff here. Okay, so first off, this took a while to get right because I remember just like I am now, putting my hands on my face just in frustration trying to produce this part, because no matter what I did, it felt like it wasn't arriving anywhere. And the thing wasn't there until I added these extra guitars and synths, and that's when it started coming to life. So I'll play that for you now. The guitars and the pads. And with that added to the rest of it, it sounded big finally. It finally sounded like a chorus. So, let's break down the guitars. What are they doing? So, we have one pan left, one pan right, one dead center. So, let's go with the one pan to the left. This should be the standard, just the thing that I would play normally on the guitar when writing it, just pan to the left. I forgot about that. Okay, so that's on the left, and here's what's on the right. And with the one to the left as well. You sort of have this sort of pumping thing that's just these two melodic things almost fighting against each other. They're sort of dancing with each other. But it didn't really feel, even though there were a bit more guitar elements to it, and it went from mono to stereo because of the fact that you started with one guitar in the intro and the verse and it went to two guitars in the chorus, it still didn't, it wasn't enough. So I ended up adding a strum track, which is just this thing right here. And you'll notice it's pumping, sort of going up and down. So let me play that clean. Here's what it sounds like. Just me and my guitar recording, me and my little room recording this guitar. Here's what it sounds like. So the first thing that I'm doing is just taking some of the low end out of it, which in retrospect doesn't seem like the best idea. It's taking a lot of the weight out of the guitars, but what it could, I most likely did this because see all this little dip in the mid area? That's probably because I wanted to sort of make it hollow, and I wanted to sort of take the focus and attention away from it, so that you'd really be, focused on the rest of the production. Like it wouldn't, I think if I hadn't done this, it would have taken you out. It would have been way too distracting. So let's actually play the chorus without this little bit of EQ and see what it does. First off, it's way too loud, my bad. So pretend that you love me. It's not that bad. It's actually not that bad. But with these three guitars together, it's probably helpful to sort of make it a stereo sort of guitar push instead of like middle first and then these two supporting melodic things. It probably made it more even. Yeah. See how it pokes out? So that's really taking the body out of it. I also have a little sidechain effect going on right here. Now, this is the very first plugin I ever bought. It's called Nicky Romero's Kickstart. And what it basically does is this little white line is your volume. So it dips the volume, and it's doing that like this. It's doing that at a pulse. So, like, how do I just... Well, let me play you it, and that's probably the best way of showing you what it's doing. And I'll turn it off and on. See, one's pumping. So that's doing two things. One, it's giving the guitar sort of their own sort of internal tempo besides just the percussives of hitting your guitar in between the strums. So it's giving it a bit more of a rhythmic element, but it's also getting out of the way of the drums, which with the guitars sound like this. They don't actually sound too good together. But with the whole thing it works. So, the other thing that's going on that is, you know what, this probably is my favorite. I wonder if I'm going to go through this entire breakdown and keep saying like, no, this is my favorite. No, this is my favorite part of the track. But regardless, I think I can say now definitively that this grouping of instruments is probably my favorite. These pads are heaven-like. They take, without the pads, this song is nothing. Because listen to this. It's beautiful. I mean, come on. Anyways, so that's three things. They're all the same glitters pad. That's what I've called it. And the thing about this pad is that it every time that, and a lot of these type of sounds are the same way. Every time that you play the same thing, the same chord exactly, even just MIDI data, like the thing, it's recorded and you're just playing it over, it'll play it differently every time. There's a nature to this instrument which is ever changing. And so I think I thought here by doing two of them and having one left and one right, it would give this thickness and overall consistency, because sometimes these pads can sound really big and sometimes they can sound really small. So it's probably the same exact MIDI, and just one of them is panned left and one of them is panned right. And it's just an I don't know what preset it is specifically, but it's just an Alchemy preset. If you have Logic, there's a synthesizer called Alchemy, and if you flip through the presets of that instrument, some of them are pretty cool. So, and then there's one last one here, which seems to be doing just like a lead line. Let's play it. And it's got kickstart on it too, so it's also pumping. And I think without it, the pads almost wouldn't sound complete. Still beautiful, but it's a little too even. So with the lead line added, I retract my statement. But I still like that it's in there. A lot of things production-wise are stuff that you'll never hear, but without it, it does take away something. I don't know that this is a good example, but there is something to be said in the fact that it's cumulative. So, there you go. Piano's straightforward. I'm not actually using the giant sound, the reverby version of the piano. I'm just taking the standard piano sound that I've been using, two of them for whatever reason. And that actually might be interesting to some people, so let me play what that's... Here's the pianos for the chorus. So, for any musicians out there, I'll quickly scroll through the MIDI data, and you can pause this when it comes out on YouTube as these little incremental videos. You can pause it and learn the chords to the song if you wish. And because you'll see this thing line up on the piano to the left there. And you can sort of feel out the rhythm. So anyways, that is the piano, and with the pads, that's going to sound like this. So there's your mid-range. There's the oomph, the sort of fullness of the track. Because without those instruments, the track's going to sound, well, it's not going to sound full. So let me play the thing with the pads and the pianos muted and see how empty it feels. So pretend that you love me. Completely different. With so pretend that you... It gives the song its completeness. And there's a point to be made here about, like, production, in that when you're first starting out, and not to say that I'm a long ways on my way, but it's less instruments than you think there are, or at least there's less types of instruments used in songs than you may think. And I purposely have grouped all of these tracks, these 87 tracks, I've grouped them together into these small individual groupings, so that you can really get a sense of how little elements are actually at play. It's vocals, guitar, piano, pads, drums, bit of percussion, special effects, bass. That's as much as you need. And this song, there was a lot of me banging my head against the wall, not knowing what is enough, what is the secret sauce to making something sound like a song. So, yeah, it really doesn't take much, but if you use the right instruments, playing the right parts at the right time, and you engineer those things well, it's going to come together beautifully. So the magic is really construction, the constructive process of, okay, I wrote this song on guitar. What's going to sound good with it? Okay, well, perhaps the drums go, or whatever it might be. In the bass line, I hear, and you just sit in a bathroom with your phone on a voice memo, just recording all of these ideas you have. The guitar should be doing this, and the bass should go, and the vocals are this, and I think we should have some harmonies for it. And the pianos, hold on, let me go over to a piano. Work out the piano part. Whatever the thing is. The production you can do in your head. The tricky part is really then, okay, to make these vocals come to life, it's actually gonna take a bunch of different things.
So pretend that you love me.
That's more so the case with drums, but let's break down the vocals here. And sorry for the rant. I don't know how much of this is going to be used in the final thing, but here are the vocals. And this isn't done well, but the idea behind what I was doing, I will stand behind. So there are 3 tracks here. One of them is a lead vocal. One of them is a purposefully bad background vocal to give the lead vocal a bit more texture and thickness. And then there's a harmony vocal. So on its own, it sounds like this.
So pretend that you love me. So pretend that you...
So that first one's just this one.
So pretend that you love me.
And then there's a little something behind it, which isn't done particularly well, so that it gives it difference. If you sing the same thing twice, it's not going to sound like anything is changing because it's the same thing. It'll sort of blend together too well. So you almost want something that's slightly different to give it thickness. If you're not doing like a harmony, if you're just doing like a double of something and you want to add thickness to it without it doing like a chorus effect or that kind of thing, you just sing it badly, and that's what this is.
Pretend that you love me.
Sort of under the breath, pretend that you love, versus pretend that you love me. Like one of them's a bit more upfront. And then there's just this harmony line, which is, I think, just doing one note.
Pretend that you love me.
Like real hard tuned. I'd actually, if I were to do this today, let me pop up. Let's go a little altar boy. And let's get this. Let me tune in.
Pretend that you love.
Alright, so let's move the pitch down 1.5 maybe.
Pretend that you...
No, okay, let's try 1.
Pretend that you love me.
And I'd actually, let's add a bit of drive.
Pretend that you love me.
Great, now it's distorting a bit. And let's make it wider. Oh, ozone imager, there we are. I have all these plugins already, but that's convenient. Let's just make it super wide. On the live stream, you won't be able to hear this, but on the YouTube video, you will.
Pretend that you love me.
Awesome. And now, let's duck it out of the way. I'm going to use a plugin called Track Spacer, which is basically going to lower the volume of this track whenever the lead vocal is singing. And that'll make it sort of sit underneath instead of the two fighting each other. So I'm going to set this to, wow. what is this thing called? Chorus 1 LV. Chorus 1 LV. Let me muffle it. Actually, no, I want to do this. Because we're just gonna be doing that. Okay, so, now, with the lead vocal.
So pretend that you love me.
And if we were to lower the volume of that, blend it in a bit more. Lower it by 10 dB.
So pretend that you love me.
Just adds a bit of texture. So I might do something more like that today, but at the time.
So pretend that you love me.
And you know what? That actually blends better, so it's fine. Look at me, trying to reproduce this thing that's already done. Already been done for, what is it, years now? Feels like that. Okay, so, let's move on. Let me see what's actually in the special effect. Okay, so, there is stuff going on here in the side effects that we haven't talked about. And this is called ear candy. It's basically like little details that pop up to keep the song interesting and to keep it changing. So I'll just solo that. With that crazy sound in the background is basically what the restaurant noise sounds like without the... It's a technical thing. You see this little thing here? Unless this little thing, which is our time marker, unless it goes back, it'll play it without the muffle, so it sounds way too harsh. So it should be fixed now. So we just have the muffled noise and the heartbeat. In a second here, you're going to hear this thing called hospital voice, which is going to come in.
So don't have much time.
All doctors to the ER. So here's what that sounds like.
All doctors to the ER.
Before processing.
All doctors to the ER.
After.
All doctors to the ER.
And then, right after that, our defibrillator, I think it's called. I mean, today I just call it heart monitor, but that comes in. All doctors to the ER. Bum, bum.
If you don't defend me, I can't guarantee my...
It's getting a little loud, so let's take the gain off. And then,
My heart will survive.
once we get into the chorus, you get a defibrillator. Just doing this. Sort of giving the chorus a constant pulse. And if I solo in these risers, there'll be a swell right here. You'll see it. Sort of. Listen. And that's how we transition out of the first chorus. And then we're into a different version of heartbeat. So, da, which is basically like it's some splice sample that I got, which is a G minor, and it's like a choir sound or something, and I just reversed it and added some reverb to it, and it made quite a beautiful swell that's actually used throughout the song. So it transitions from chorus 1 to verse 1, and the pre-chorus to the second chorus, and the second chorus to the bridge. So let's now move on. Let's keep going, breaking down the special effects. Here's verse 2. So heartbeat enters. It's a different version of the heartbeat, but same thing pretty much. Just whatever worked for the second verse. Our little heart monitor comes back, and then our callback, which is basically just me having fun with the rhythm section. So if I do that and I solo this, let me. All doctor, doctor. So I just cut that out.
All doctor. All doctor. All doctor. Doctor. All doctor.
Because I thought, okay, I want to add it again, but it feels a little too on the nose to have the same thing again. So I played with it and gave it more of a rhythmic component. And the idea behind adding this sort of hospital theme, because you'll notice there's like heart monitors, heartbeat sound, hospital noise, all doctors to the ER. The idea was sort of the patient is dying. And so if you look at the lyrics of the song, take me now, I don't know how, but I need someone tonight. If you don't defend me. Something like that, right?
Take me now, I don't know how, but I need someone tonight.
Because the guy's about to die. And that's a metaphor for... well, for something that's better left unsaid. But basically, I was adding all of these little ear candy things that related to the message of the song, which is a trick that is really good to use when you're producing something, because it ties in the music to the lyrics, and it also gives you ear candy that's relevant. And ear candy, as interesting a name as that may seem, is a very useful thing in production. It's quite necessary to keep things interesting on a production level, because you can keep things interesting on a craftsmanship level of how the song is constructed melodically, but also in production you want to make sure that things are constantly changing, even if it's the second verse and you've already heard verse 1. The two verses need to be different from each other. So that's let's move back to this. There's another noise in here, another layer of noise. Birds. Now, there's no thematic tie-in with the birds here. I was just... the ambience of the song, it needed something more, and so I searched through and I liked the sort of noise that this was adding. So I put it through a bunch of processing, I muted it and added some reverb to it, and got that sound on top of it. What else is happening in the second verse?
Don't leave.
Again, too loud.
Don't leave me yet. There's something so comforting about your breath on my neck. How much more can I stand? You don't know how lonely it is without you here, my friend. Don't leave me yet.
Okay, so let's check out the bass. A second bass instrument comes in called bass parentheses Kanye, which is just, I think, a preset that I got off. There is a YouTube channel called I'm a Music Mongol, and this guy recreates sounds from songs, so I think I just went in and followed along with his video and recreated the sound on the synthesizer called the ES2 in Logic. And without that, the bass doesn't have that sort of gurgle, that high end, so I'll take it out and put it back in and show you what it's like. So that's a nice little addition, I figured. Verse vocals, same business. Lead vocal and a background vocal behind it, give it a bit of thickness. Ooh, there's a little interesting thing here happening between the guitars and the pads, so. That guitar is panned kind of hard left. I was experimenting with the various panning features that Logic has. But it's pan left. The guitar is pan left, and on the right, because I felt that if I were to just have the same thing happen in the verse section, it didn't evolve enough as a production. So I added in, on behalf of the pads, this thing. Which is just awesome. I love this. I love this so much. So that, with the guitar, all of a sudden it's moving. It's different. It's more rhythmic in a way, and it's expanding as a production. It's chapter 2, it's verse 2. And all of a sudden, in the second verse, there's more drums, there's more instrumentation. The thing is changing, which is necessary in a production. Pianos, same business. Back to the two main pianos and the Verbi piano. But the main interest comes here with the pads and the drums. So I'll play the pads first. So that's a couple things. It's first of all, it's this new pad, which you haven't heard before, called Strange, and it looks like I just bounced it into audio. It looks like I just bounced it to audio here. So let me play that isolated. And I love this patch so much. I believe this is another Alchemy preset, and that added so much character to the second verse. So when I had that, the thing was really starting to come together. And then I just added a lead line, same thing, pan left and right, and it sounds like this. And that, with everything else, made it complete. So, let's move on to the percussion. Let me play the drums for you. And let's start at the second half of the verse, because this is where it really picks up. It's going to be super loud. Let me turn the gain off. There we are.
How much more can I stand? You don't know how lonely it is without you here, my friend. How much more can...
Okay, so let's solo the drums here. You got your kick and your snare, little hi-hat pattern. And that's played off of a contact instrument called Modern Sparkle Kit. You know, I'm really just giving... I'm not giving it away too much, but if you want to know what any of these sounds are, I'm telling you. Because if you're starting out and you want some sounds, why not? Though, if you're looking to get into real drum sounds, I'd recommend this plugin called Perfect Drums by Naughty Seal. That's a really good drum plugin. And I've written recently quite a lot of rock songs. Songs that use rock elements, and live drums are definitely apparent in terms of me needing them, and that's a great plugin for that. But for this, I just use this contact instrument, and with everything, the drums sound like this. I want to talk, the kick and the snare is pretty self-explanatory. Let's talk about some of the other elements of this. First off, sticks. I don't actually know if you're going to be able to hear that, so let me go from 10 dB to 20. Just a little sub rhythm in there. Give it a bit more. That might be louder in the actual mix of the song, but yeah, I felt that added something. Most of you are probably thinking right now, like, I would never hear that, Aiden. But trust me, all of these tiny things that you don't hear, they're accumulative. If I could group them all together, like all the stuff that you think you wouldn't hear, and I were to mute them, it would feel different. It would feel sort of less. You wouldn't know. It would feel not so hollow, but enough that you would go, wait, what happened? What dropped out? So, yeah, tons of little stuff like this, little ideas that you have. Moving on, this watch has a story to it. This watch took an hour to record, and it's a watch that was owned by my father's father, my father, and now me. And I was recording the song, I was wearing the watch, and I thought, okay, this is a song about this patient dying, which is a metaphor for something else, which, again, I will not get into, because I'd rather you guys interpret the song for your own experience. But there's a reference to I don't have much time. So I wanted to give that in a more literal sense. I wanted to add that as an element to tie in. And it worked wonders. So I without the watch, which comes in at the first verse, the thing has no rhythm. Because if you look at it, there, besides a kick, there is no rhythm for the entire first verse and pre-chorus. So that watch is giving like a little our little 16th rhythm for the entire verse and the pre-chorus. So it's quite essential. It sounds like this. Now, why this took an hour to record is because it was so quiet that I couldn't. You hear all of this white noise right now on my mic? That's called the noise floor. And the watch was so quiet that when I turned up the volume so much that you could actually hear the watch, you heard the noise floor, and I didn't want that. So if you look closely, I've actually chopped it up to sort of cut that out. And I'm also doing a lot of EQ work and using this plugin called Kickstart to duck it, and then I'm hiding it with a reverb plugin. So without processing, the watch actually sounds like this. See how necessary those plugins are now? Because without it, it's a completely different thing. But with it, all of a sudden sounds like how the thing actually sounds. So, moving on from just that, guitar percussion comes in. And this is a pretty cool element. At the time, I was getting into Ed Sheeran's record Divide, and there was a song on there called Nancy Mulligan. And it used all of this organic percussion, stuff that to me sounded like hitting on the guitar. I would later watch a documentary called Songwriter, in which it is shown that it's actually this Irish band with all of these acoustic rhythmic instruments. So, to give the song a bit more rhythm, I added these guitar tracks, which sound like this. The first one's a knock.
You don't.
That's just me literally doing this. That's where it is. And then the second one, da 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 da, just a bit, sort of a parade rhythm in a way. That's just literally right here. I don't know if you can see. And then there's one here which is sort of adding to the snare. Just a strum, muted strum. And then here's your little 16th rhythm, which is, I think, just like, I think it's just that. And then for these drums, I just time corrected them and added processing to it. And I really loved the way that, I really love what it did to the production, because most of the stuff on here aren't real instruments. And so it sort of added more of an organic nature, especially to the rhythm section, that it just didn't have before, because all of these parts were quantized. The piano wouldn't be, obviously. And the bass, I think... No, the bass might be quantized. I'm pretty sure that's... Aside from maybe... Doesn't matter. The idea is that this added a lot to the rhythm section, especially, that I felt it needed. And if you listen to like the drums and the guitar percussion soloed, it's a beautiful thing. And when it was mixed, the stems of the mixed drums and percussion sound really, really cool. So, I might actually play this with the special effects. So the thing's driving, which is what I wanted. I wonder, have we covered everything here? Yeah, okay, so let's move on to pre-chorus. Interestingly enough, these little pads here drop out, just to sort of make it smaller before the second chorus, so that the second chorus felt bigger. So there's a bit of that going on. Let's go to chorus 2. And still, okay. So, here's chorus 2.
So pretend that you love me. Pretend you're not lying when you say that you still dream about me, like I still do.
Second time around.
So pretend that you want me. I know that you're lying when you say that you still dream about me, like I still do for you.
So,
For you.
I think the very first thing we should jump into is the vocals. Let's go, vocals. Let me just solo the vocal folder.
So pretend that you love me. pretend you're not lying
when you say that you still dream about me like I still do for you. That's the harmony line. And then here, I felt that it needed a bit more. It needed to go up an octave because I wanted the second chorus to go for twice as long. So to add to it, I added these sort of swell vocals. These, I've called them response here. BV response.
So pretend that you want me.
No, that you're lying. You say that you still dream about me like I still do for you. So, this little section here.
So pretend that you want me.
Believe the first one, you have your lead vocal, then you have your background vocal adding thickness. Now this, I'm not actually sure what this specific one is, so let's see.
Pretend that you want me.
Sorry, it's just a harmony doing one note. Da 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 da. Just that note. And then this one is your little high octave.
So pretend that you want me.
Which, the end of it is actually it's sung badly. But, if you add it with these first two, all of a sudden, in combination with one another, the thing sounds right there.
So pretend that you want me.
And then moving on, same business.
I know that you're lying when you say that you still dream about me like I still do for you.
And let's just listen to these little swells real quick and then we'll move on. So first off, there's that, and then there's, I think, a double of that with reverb instead. And so we have that, and we have this other thing, which is the same thing, just a different melody. And when I do that live, I end up singing, and I pretend that you want me. Know that you're lying when you say that you still dream. So moving on. First of all, let's shrink these. And I think guitars are the same, yeah, pianos should be the same. But pads, I believe, are expanded upon here. So let's listen.
So pretend that you.
Then strings come in. Sounds very sort of underwater. I'll replay the string part because there's a moment in there which is a lovely little melodic line. Let's just look at those strings real quick. Just real quick, and we'll move on. So most of the low end's taken out of them just because there's already enough of that going on in the track. It doesn't need it. Alrighty, and then this one. And that's taken us into our bridge. But we're not there yet. So, yes, guitar percussion. This is where, I think, let's see. Yeah, special effects, all doing pretty much the same thing. Bass, I can't imagine that I switched up anything. No, I didn't. Same as the rest of it. But the percussion gets added upon. So listen to all these guitar percussion tracks. So we have our main 4 that you heard, and then there are these 2 extra ones right here. Guitar percussion 5 and 6. And one of them is just reinforcing the sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, really defining the beats of the track. That's this one. And then one of them's meant to sort of replicate the brushes. Like sometimes drummers use brushes on the snare drum. But I don't have that, and there are no good virtual replications of that. So what I ended up doing is I just used the back of my acoustic and just rubbed my hand and did it in a rhythm and found a good bar section of it. And I didn't quantize this because that was hard to quantize, I remember, because there's no one rhythm in it. So I just found a good section and I looped it, and that's meant to be brushes, and that sounds like that. And that added just the right amount to sort of give a bit more interest. Another little piece of ear candy there. Moving on to the bridge. I love this bridge. But it's way too loud right now. Let's take the volume out of it. Here we are.
For you, for you, for you, for you, for you, for you.
So, bass, simple. Real low end, can barely hear it, but it's adding weight that without it, it wouldn't be the same. On an iPhone, I don't know that you'll be able to hear that too much, and for that reason, I imagine I imagine Robert ended up just EQing it to be a bit more high frequency. I don't know. He might have added a bit more mids in there, but although you can barely hear it, it is adding a weight that without it, it would just be less. It wouldn't be as there. The guitar percussion, it's dropping out. I want the thing to sort of come to a close, because remember, we're getting to that thing, the patient is dying. So, sort of coming to an end, it's closing down. And in our little special effects here, we have a thump, just reinforcing the heartbeat motif. And that's about everything going on in the special effects and the bass. Guitar percussion we already discussed. Drums, what's dropping out? The snare's dropping out. Some of the other elements like the ride cymbal, which in the chorus is just doing this. So it's actually doing a ride and a crash at the beginning, so call it overheads, you know, sort of hitting that crash every time. And then the hi-hat is going 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1, and I'll turn the gain up so you can hear it. And when it transitions from chorus 2 to bridge, it goes slower. It goes to a lesser rhythm. So listen. Slowing down, things coming to a close. Right, okay, moving on. Pads. We already discussed this thing's coming in, and this builds, because this pad is going to last all the way until our outro, and then it's just going to hold and let the whole thing swell, and yeah, it's going to be beautiful. So, that's all that's up with that. Let me play you the bridge piano, because that is different. Those are our pianos. Moving forward, the guitar, I believe, is just going back. Interesting. What does it do? Oh! So it's a different guitar tone than you've heard yet. It's the main pluck thing, which is this. But I want it, the bridge is supposed to open up for you. It is supposed to just open up. So I added the same thing, same exact guitar part, but just with reverb on it. Which sounds like this. It's a lot bigger. So with the original guitar, here we are. And that's given us, just covering up from bottom to top here, that all that sounds like this. Again, a little loud, my bad. And all that's left is the vocals, which we'll discuss right here. So, same technique that I don't necessarily stand behind in execution. I don't necessarily stand behind it in the execution of how I did it here, but I do like the concept behind it. I think I would have just done it better, because here it's not adding much. But lead vocal, backing vocals, same thing exactly, just more breathy, and then these little vocal responses. So if I solo the vocals, here's what it sounds like. For you, for you, for you, for you, for you, for you, for you. And then ending here is just a lead vocal. For you. And that's, now we're into our outro. But these little response vocals here. Alright, so let's just listen to it. It's a double of the same thing, left and right. For you. And then a little harmony, I believe. For you. Yeah, really reverby. And then the back. So those two together, plus the lead vocal, is what gives you that sound. And then I added even one more track that I just felt that it needed to lift even more. So here we are. Which, without it, I think you guys would agree, I mean, it's less.
For you.
Doesn't quite have it, right? But with it,
For you.
just lifts even more. So, little stuff like that makes me happy. Here we are, final stretch of it. And trust me, we are gonna get to trivia. I've not forgotten. Sorry to make you wait this long, everybody. No, it's an hour 15, no longer than what we generally do. It's just a little different today, a little special event for this live stream. Okay, so final stretch here, outro. Let's listen.
For you. Everything I do, cliche, but it's true. It's all for you. It's all for you.
And our patient dies. Sad. So, let's break it down. First off, I want to mention this thing right here. This little blip here, this guitar thing, the idea is that as the person dies, it sort of lets go of the guitar. So that's that. If you're ever curious why you hear this thing right here, if I solo it, that's me letting go of the guitar. So that's mostly there for me. It almost didn't make the cut. I think it'd probably be a better song without it in, just looking back, because it does require explaining, but it's almost like a little Easter egg, if you will, sort of keeping in line with the theme. And at the moment when I was going through the mixing process with this thing, the thing was still so emotionally relevant for me that I was like, no, it has to be in. Like, I was very insistent that that part be in, and I shouldn't have done it. But you know, the song, you make songs, you make music for yourself as a means of self-expression, and it's then put on display for people to relate to it or be excluded from it or whatever. It's up to the people at that point. But it meant a lot to me that that thing get left in, because, well, you know, it's your emotions you're putting on display. It's quite an odd thing to get vulnerable in front of the public on purpose. Anyways. So that's that little moment with guitars, little Easter egg for you. That's where Aidan died. Or that version of him. Again, subject matter I'll try my best not to discuss. And we've already gone through this, but what a beautiful sort of send out to the end of this sort of journey. So that and the vocals. The vocals, again, pretty straightforward. Just a lead and a double. Guitars, we've gone through. Pads. It's just one sustained thing. Sounds like this. And this sound, it's sort of meant to be it's meant to portray the death of the character. It's a beautiful sound, and it sort of sets the space for where the song is. But also, with the way that the thing ends, this plays a major part in the ending of the outro, which I'll get to in just a second. Let's see. Outro just drops down to a kick and basic rhythm. Gone through that. Let's see. Special effects. Our little heart monitor comes back. And so you sort of have these two elements, which, funny enough, it's a heart monitor and a heartbeat. So the heartbeat's actually playing for rhythmic purposes more than the heart monitor. So that's almost acting as your kick and snare right there. And of course you have the main drums. Just driving. So it's sort of filling like 3 rhythmic pockets there. And by the end of it, flatlines. Character dies. And you'll notice the heartbeat actually slows down a bit. And sort of fades off there. And then flatlines and the restaurant noise. Am I doing any... I wonder if... No, I don't think I am. But that pretty much covers it. I mean, the last thing to discuss is the very, very end of the song, where everything swells and sort of... I mean, here it is. That thing right there. Where's the last time I spoke?
For you.
Coming to the end, and then the swell is his soul passing on. Everything gets louder than you can take, and it just... And that is the logic breakdown, the song breakdown of my song for you. So, sorry that took so long, but yeah, there's a lot to go through. There were a lot of tracks in this. I don't think I used this many tracks generally. And, yeah, first song I ever made. Not saying I made it all that well, but I'm happy with how it turned out. So, like, that was a head trip that took me a month to go through and figure out exactly how to articulate in the right way. So, I'm glad that it's done. Oh, thank you, Raven. Thanks. You guys are sweet. Alrighty. I was worried there for a second that some of you were getting bored, and I'm sure that's the case, but I think it balances out with how much this might mean to some people. It really depends on whether or not you're coming to this YouTube channel for music. So, there's that. But yeah, let's move on to trivia. You know what? Because why not? Let me, Raven, let's hang out. I feel like I've been talking for way too long. I need someone to just bounce a headspace off of. Just hang out with. Raven, can you do it, please? Let's see. Let me open up Discord. Everyone who's been waiting an hour and a half for trivia, let's do this. How long are lives generally? They're generally like an hour. I think. Something like that. Hold on. Okay. Let me actually just hold on. Let me open a window. It's very hot in this room. It's good to see the elements. Anyone want to join the stream? And I'll put in the link. Okay. And we will finally move on to trivia. And we'll see if anybody joins the stream. They may. Alrighty. I don't know that anybody's going to. But that's alright. Let's... Hey.
Oh, hi!
You're a true friend. Ah.
How
I
are
had
you?
my headphones on too long. That's how I am. I've had
That was
headphones
great.
on. Thank you. Thanks.
That was really good. That was interesting.
I was unsure of how. Nope, I'm just joining. I was.
Bro.
I wanted to. I wanted to do that for the weekly videos. Thanks for hanging out
No,
with
that
me.
was cool.
I feel very odd. I don't think I've ever
I hear your echo.
not looked at the. Oh yeah, sorry, my bad. Hold on. Getting back into the swing of things.
Get your ear game on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I've ever not looked at the comment section of a stream for that long, so that was a bit of a trip.
I mean, you were in the zone.
Well, you know,
Yeah,
I
that
had
was
to be.
awesome. That's better.
I had to be, otherwise I'd be distracted the whole time, and it wouldn't be a fair breakdown. Let's do trivia. I think the people have
Every
waited.
time you open your window, I imagine like a sailboat. You know when they like get the
Oh, dude,
thing.
eventually, yeah, when summer comes out, when summer finally rears its head over here in Canada, we're gonna have a lovely time, and I think there's gonna be tons of sailboats out on the lake, so that's gonna
Oh,
be
you know
fun.
what?
I might even go sailing, I don't know.
I got so confused when you said
need
Canada.
to tell Emma.
You forgot I was in Canada?
I was like, what? Like, Canada? It's like, oh yeah.
What?
What does Canada have to do
Where
with
is this
Canada?
coming from? I'm pulling up the
You were like,
music.
oh, yeah. Like here, yeah,
In case
here in
anyone
Canada,
was
and I was
wondering.
like, Canada? Oh yeah, he's in Canada, isn't he?
He is.
What's happening? Yeah, he is.
Oh,
My
I feel
brain
the sun's just
took a
in the
while to
face.
remember that. My brain took a while to remember that. That ceiling fan gives me so much anxiety.
Why?
That is, ceiling fans-
What part of it makes you...
Do you never get scared that it'll just pop off?
If it does,
No!
hit me if I'm on my bed.
Oh yeah, it's echoing again.
Hold on. There we are.
Oh! Yo!
Hold
on. Okay.
Oh no, I think I can hear myself in your stream.
Anna, put in headphones.
Alright,
good?
in the meantime,
We all
let's
good?
do this thing. I think so.
Never
All
not
right.
had technical difficulties.
Dang it. Hold on.
Oh, the damn Eagles!
Hi everybody.
Tegan! Hi.
Up, bro.
Okay. So, I forgot to copy the question. I'm so in a different mode right now.
You were in the zone.
Like, there's a loop on someone's end. Oh my god.
It might
It's
be
gonna
mine.
be
I don't know.
Anna. Do you not remember the loophole?
I think it's
Anna.
Anna. I think it's definitely Anna.
Anna.
Okay, hold on. Wait. I'll mute your audio. That'll solve it. Not that I want to, but I might have
Sit in
to.
silence.
Yeah.
Your hair looks great, babe.
Riveting content.
Peaceful.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
Raven, I thought you didn't like the weight room music.
Yeah, that's Raven, I thought you didn't like the
Oh, I know where it is. Here we are.
that was not good.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like this music, but it's kind of.
It's too late to turn back.
I
We've
do
done
not
too
like
much
the
with
weight
this
room
music.
music.
I think it's a ball.
It's
I hear it
good
in my
music,
dreams.
but it's still something about it.
Well, you don't trust it somehow.
No, Raven.
Alrighty.
Now,
Whose line is it trivia?
Every time I hear it, it just plays.
I can hear this.
Have you got the question?
Yeah, hold on. Let me just...
100%.
Let me... There we are. Now it actually looks
So
like I'm looking
chaotic.
at everybody.
Oh, lush.
We'll get back into the swing of things. Here we are. Alright. I see. This is gonna be one of those kind of nights. Who said that?
I don't even remember who said that one.
So,
You'll know in a second.
no.
Sing it, Raven!
Oh boy. It's not that high.
When's the EP coming out, Raven? That's pretty smart.
EP.
I don't know what it means, but like I see a lot of people being like, "Oh, guys, my EP's out. Download it." I don't actually know what it stands for, but I assume it's just music.
EP? I don't.
It is. Yeah, unless I got the letters wrong. I doubt I did.
Is that not
but-
episode? Like episode?
No,
is that not...
no. Yeah, but no.
Is it like a music thing?
Yeah, I think it's like an album. I don't know the slang.
An
You
album.
could have just said when's
Here
my
we are.
album out.
Stop. Look, I know I could have made it easier for myself.
It's coming out next year. Buy it now on Spotify.
What's it called?
It's called Bird Girl.
That's fun.
Wait, what?
I buy
Aiden
it.
suddenly tunes into this chaotic conversation.
Sorry.
Did Bird Girl?
Yeah, I'm a little wonked out.
What does
I feel
EP
like I was
stand
just
for?
abruptly woken and all of a sudden I'm in a stream. But I'm happy to be here. I'm just a bit startled.
We're happy to have you. Yeah. Welcome.
I'm happy to have you as well. You guys are very
And
helpful.
say thanks for having us.
Oh no, I got it wrong. Hold on.
Who's the person so I can double check?
The person before it I think it was this girl called Cammy.
Who's the person who said the line?
Hold on. Let me go back to my
We should open Discord. I can help.
I feel like I'm in an office. This is
Office.
I don't know.
What? What?
No, because we're both like on a computer, so it's like, you know.
I wish I always
Wow,
knew the
okay.
answers.
I'm scrolling through it right now. Let's try and correct this thing. Let me go here.
On my screen, the first one is
Sarah got it!
Get Sarah. You can see it's all the
Sorry.
emojis.
My ADD is like heavy today.
It is all
Don't
good.
apologize, it's all good.
Don't apologize about that.
You do you. It's all chill.
It's all swag.
Alrighty. Moving on to the second question.
Remember, copy and paste.
Oh, vegan.
What?
Sorry.
Remember to copy and paste.
Indeed. Thank you. He said I could hire my own team. Anyone figured it out yet?
Oh, I'm bad at
No,
this.
I don't know. I don't know these ones.
Maybe.
Okay.
Usually quite good.
Well,
at
keep on
trivia.
it down though.
I'm not good. I'm
Lila
like a reader.
is the correct answer, and I believe Hannah is the first person, but let me just double check real quick.
I knew that answer.
Hannah
Yep.
is. Oh,
Hannah is.
oh my god, Hannah! Hannah, I know Hannah. Well done, Hannah. Well done, bro.
Is it the Hannah that I'm thinking of?
Yes, glasses.
Yay! Oh my god, that's so exciting.
Good Hannah.
I love how I was like, I know.
Did you?
Ah! Oh no. There's a 30-second delay, so it's fine. Accidentally spoke the name.
Not good.
How dare you?
What are you gonna do? That's
you
why
gonna
it's a
do?
good thing that there's a delay. Okay, so are you involved in something nefarious? And the answer is grace. So let's see.
That's a
Who
great
the
word.
first person. It is a great word.
It's a great word.
Nefarious.
Nefarious.
Don't know what it means, but it sounds great.
Evil. Evil.
Oh.
Up to no good.
Wait.
Wait.
I think this is the first person. Wait,
Wait, Leah.
Leah.
First person on my
See?
screen is Leah.
See how easy it is? Yeah, it is Leah.
We got you.
Thank you.
Well done.
You guys are awesome.
Anytime.
Yeah, it's
Indeed,
Leah.
we are.
Yeah.
And this is, yeah, third question.
I know that.
You won. Congratulations.
Congrats. You won.
Congratulations. Dun-dun-dun-dun.
You're having a
Maybe
good
for
time,
someone who
aren't you?
doesn't like this music, you seem to be having a good time.
You know, I'm in a pretty good mood right now, so this music is the bopping mood. The bopping time.
I like this line. This next line, I like it.
Yeah.
I just want to say
Same.
that. That's all.
Me too.
You don't even...
I don't know what it is! Just assume.
That's
you
my
will.
favorite.
She just knows. She knows.
What's with the baby powder is the line.
Oh,
Oh,
I know who that was. Sorry.
Oh!
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this one's
Best
pretty
scene.
good, yeah.
that's a favorite. Damn.
Dasha.
Hello.
Yep.
She's got the first one.
My Discord.
What happened?
Oh, nothing. Just because of the ton of messages, my Discord just stopped.
Yeah, it's quite a lot.
Nah, mate.
Can be quite a lot
Yep.
sometimes.
Happened during the after party. Just
I also
stopped, and
like
I was
this
like,
line.
Me too. Another favorite.
Alright. Question 5. Yes, I see that. It's very shiny.
Oh my god, yeah, I know this one as well. Oh, I feel so accomplished.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of myself.
Not Reginald, not 5.
That is a dog.
Raven's dog.
It's definitely a dog.
thought it
That
was a cat.
indeed was a dog. I swear, my dog's
Keegan, you're such a
Diego.
dork.
No. No, you.
Don't
I feel
bring
like
your
I feel like this will
Australian
take longer for
accent
people to
on
get
the
No,
live.
I don't have no.
I'll
Okay,
actually
sorry.
yell at you, Keegan.
It just happens
I think this will
sometimes.
take longer.
Is this the first person?
Have a little-
Yes.
What's the
yes,
character?
yes.
Javi?
Yeah.
How does that? Okay.
If I pronounced your name wrong, apologies.
Sometimes it's tough to tell. But that's
It
alright.
is
The world is a very diverse place. Okay. Yeah, number 5.
Dun, 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 dun.
I think you like this song.
I think it's
my
just catchy. You know, songs can be catchy and still not good. I
What?
wish you wrote it. Can you write
Raven.
a song?
Did you have to go find the glasses before you joined the stream?
You know what? I did.
Raven and I are the glasses.
Alrighty. Last one.
Wasn't think
Number 6. Why are people so much heavier when they're dead?
I don't remember the
That's an intense
context of
line.
that.
Alrighty. Here we are.
No mid.
Not 5, no. No, 5 does not do the cleanup when it comes to...
Oh, I feel like
Kills.
Oh, I think I know who it is.
He's not part of cleanup crew.
No, he just goes through like a machete and doesn't look back. It's
Might
a bit
wait.
much, yeah.
Might
okay.
Cleaning later. Alright. Alright, love.
What, Raven? Say that again?
Don't know.
What did you
Don't know.
But-
Go, what, love? Say it again.
Is Camilla the first person? I think so.
Yes.
Seems
Not gonna
like
lie,
it.
didn't know the answer. So
If the answer is Allison, then yes.
it has a bunch.
It is
of
Allison, yeah.
emojis.
Okay, good, yeah.
I
No.
thought there you go.
It has a bunch of emojis, so yes.
Chances are the chat told me.
Alrighty.
I took the stuff and everything's bright.
Are you exhausted?
Yeah, it was, I didn't open, I should have opened a window. It got hot in here very quickly.
I thought you did.
You still
I
got
thought you did.
Zoom calls.
Yeah, but that's just like the window to let in light. So,
Oh.
yeah, let me...
No, never mind then.
JK.
No, the wait.
Are you going
music
outside,
stopped.
or are you just...
Leaves.
Okay.
Outside. Get
How you guys doing today?
Get it fun.
Oh,
10
believe
out of
me,
10.
with Canada's air, you don't need a fan. It's because
But you do, because you said you were hot, so you get a fan.
no, you don't understand. The cold air just seeps in. It's lovely.
Get a
okay.
handheld
Why
fan.
you so
East Coast
skeptical?
vibes.
Just get a
You're
fan.
like strangely selective in your skepticism.
Oh my god, you know what you should get? You should get one of those little cute hand fans, but they're just like, you just hold
Yeah,
the
you should
little
get the
one
Hello
down.
Kitty.
and- yeah, they're really cute. They're adorable. You can get them in like fun
You know they
colours,
have those on set. They use that on
See?
set. Yeah.
Why don't you
Get the
take one?
headphones.
I don't use them all that much. They're mainly like used by the hair department as like a sort of on-the-go blow dryer. I don't know how well it actually works, but it's carried. And,
Next time your birthday
yeah.
comes around, all the mods are just gonna buy you a little fan, and you'll
Oh,
have a
sweet.
bunch of them.
Sweet.
Small fans.
Oh, you just imagine like just a 5 in costume holding the little
Yeah, but I
little
don't-
hand.
I don't need more than one.
One for each day of the week.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Wasteful.
different colours.
Wasteful.
And the week after.
You can get you can just get fun little colours like fun
Guys,
colours. Get a pink one.
You don't have to wash the fans. They're good for each day.
Yeah,
What if-
but
no,
style.
Surely not.
You could buy some that
Yeah,
match your outfit. Like a
Coordinate.
pink fan,
I think
wear
that's
a
going
pink
overboard.
shirt. Just
You get a Hello
get
Kitty.
a fan,
Or the Hello
right?
Kitty.
Just get a fan.
You can get a
Alrighty.
Batman fan. I'm gonna look on Amazon and see if they have that. Hold on.
Oh,
Batman
They will.
fan.
they will. They'll have Batman everything.
Batman.
Batman. They'll have Batman things. Wait, it's
Yeah,
trivia
I'm
over.
a ceiling fan. What is this?
Yeah, trivia's done.
Oh, is
It's
it?
over. I'm
Alright,
just
cool.
decompressing now. That's all.
I thought we were just like, I don't know, vibing in between.
Yeah, we were for a second there, and now we're just relaxed.
Oh,
I
that's all
don't think
chill.
a Batman tiny fan is a thing. Kind of disappointed.
It
Cool.
should be. He's everywhere.
There's a ceiling fan.
Oh,
That's sick.
Oh my god, indeed. Oh,
So
that
Lisa's
is
here in
fantastic.
spirit.
Indubitably.
Indeed.
That's the fun. We're indubitably.
Indubitably.
I don't say
What?
indeed. That's way too posh. Alright, innit? Innit? Did you find it?
Innit?
Innit? Wait,
In it?
Did you find a Batman fan? Not
I
that
did.
I'm
What?
gonna buy.
There's ceiling fans
Emily,
with
Emily,
like patterns.
decide.
Oh, a Batman fan.
Yeah.
That's what I've been searching
That's
for
what
for the past like minute.
That's,
Wait, why is
that's
that such a
the-
big water bottle?
Why?
That,
It's
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, look, it's is it 73 ounces? I think it's something like that. Yes, 73 ounces, and if you look at it, it's portioned by hour. So, I filled it up at the beginning of the live. I should have filled it up at the beginning of the day, at 7 a.m.
yeah.
But, yeah, this is just the ideal amount of water that I like consuming each day. I can go through lots of water if I have it near me, but if I don't have it near me, I don't drink any water at all. So it's a very passive thing for me.
that's
So
true.
hence the giant bottle. I just don't have to keep getting up and refilling my glass of water.
I
But,
thought
what
it
if,
was
like,
so.
they're, like warm?
What?
Like, what if it
I
gets
missed
like
that.
warm?
What if it gets warm? That's good. You don't want cold water as like your main drinking water. Unless it's...
What?
No, trust
Warm
me,
water's
trust me.
kinda grody.
It's hard. Imagine chugging cold water. That's hard.
It's
But-
great. I
No.
love doing that.
It's much easier to drink room temperature water. And I will stand by this.
Waking
No,
up
that's
at 3 in the
gross.
morning and chugging cold water is the best feeling.
I think you're wrong there. I think you're wrong. I think
Controversy.
I'm great.
that's an incorrect statement. That.
Wrong in it.
God, like, just drop an ice cube in there. It'd be great.
Uh,
Drop an ice cube. Oh, you
Raven's
know what?
accent makes my day all the time.
Drop an ice cube in that, mate.
What did you just...
I love ice cubes, mate. I choked on an ice cube once.
What?
But it's alright because it melts, so I didn't die. You know? Obviously, I didn't die. I'm alive. Like, still.
no, you're not
I'm
dead,
so proud of
Raven?
you.
You're not
I'm not
haunting
dead,
us
no, I know-
with your swagger?
One back. But
With your
I
I
swagger.
feel like when you do die,
No.
your swagger will live on.
I wouldn't mind Raven
Okay,
haunting
little-
me.
I'll get little ghost glasses. That'll follow me around.
Yeah.
What,
you
just like
believe
floating
in
glasses?
Yeah. Do you believe in ghosts? Like, for real?
Yes.
I've yet to have an experience that would bring forth a belief.
Movies
I
have
agree.
put me against.
That'd be cool.
I just think if there's a ghost nearby, why would he waste time like turning off lights?
Just because what he's there, he's got to stay in this room, so he's just having fun. He's back there like this. He's like, hey. He's like looking out to see if anybody's gonna notice. He's like, oh. He's sitting down. He's like just relaxing. He's talking with another ghost. So always Bob would. Oh shit! Hold on. And the guy walking down the hall's like, "Oh, what's going on here?" So, anyways, I think
That was wonderful.
I think ghosts are just having a laugh. I think that's what's going on.
That was cinema.
Yeah,
Having a laugh.
because like you said, why else just stick around a hotel turning on and off lights? Like, why bother? I think it's fun.
If it's a
Ghosts
hotel,
are
it's
just
different.
instantly trolls. They just
Yeah.
see a human and they're like, "Oh, bruh, let's open these cabinets." Whoa.
It'd be
Oh.
weird if a ghost, if you just saw like a ghost make a sandwich. You'd see the cabinet open a plate, pour out bread, various slices of lettuce and stuff.
Oh
Make a
no.
full sandwich. Because at first it'd be scary, and then it'd get a little calmer, and you'd start to get really interested. Like, what kind of sandwiches do you make?
I mean, I bet
That
it's
kind of
possible to just live with a ghost. Just live with a ghost. You just have to put off with
As a
put up with
roommate?
yeah.
Oh,
What
that's
if a
that's
nice
very
ghost?
What We Do in the Shadows. Did you ever see that movie?
Of course, I haven't seen that movie.
You're asking the
You've
wrong
got-
person.
okay. each of you, please watch What We Do in the Shadows after this live, if you are able to, because it's a hilarious comedy. It's like truly funny. It's this
I like
comedy done
comedies.
by Taika Waititi. It's about vampires, but it's like Flight of the Conchords, but with vampires. So it's hilarious.
Anna said you can unmute.
It's actually
her
got one of the
now.
guys from Flight of the Conchords in it. What?
Anna says you can unmute her now because she has headphones in.
Yay!
Yay!
Anna, try saying
Yay.
something.
I think it should be
Something.
alright.
I'm already chasing.
Oh, fuck.
Am I okay now?
Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
I mean,
will
there's
do
a
the party.
slight delay between when you speak and when we hear you speak, but all good.
It's tolerable.
That's
It's all
okay.
good.
The echo is gone.
I'll-
My curse is
I'll
broken.
write down
Yeah.
the movie. I need to write down the movie. Or
Yeah,
I'll
the
forget
ghost
it.
got bored. The ghost that was giving you echo got bored.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
What if
we're
you
on
have
to
a ghost
now.
that just does like chores for you? What if it's just like a friendly ghost?
They're there
Like
for
Tom
eternity. What else? They don't really.
Like you walk out,
Friendly
you walk out to your kitchen and it's just a mop, just like
Oh.
sweeping.
Just a mop, just
floor,
a
you know what I
moving
mean? Like
My house is haunted, and it's the best thing I've ever known. Like that sort of thing.
why do we think ghosts are like scary and rude? Why can't they be friendly?
But
Spooky
like even
roommates.
in your afterlife, that's a bit to still like have to mop like come on. You should
Cleaning
get
is
a break.
therapeutic for some people.
Yeah,
never
perhaps.
know.
That's true.
Aren't ghosts like isn't the thinking like they're spirits who haven't gone to heaven yet, like they haven't moved on yet or something?
They're like, yeah. They have like unfinished business.
Yes.
But
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe they
Their
didn't finish
unfinished
their
business is
shift.
The dirty floor. The dirty floor. That's their unfinished business.
Yeah.
like, they forgot
Clean
to
Oh man, my
turn on
boss
lights.
is gonna
service.
kill me if I don't finish this by tomorrow. I gotta stay at this. You die. Yeah, man, but come on, he's gonna be mad. Anyways, sorry.
Like, imagine how like crowded the ghost world would be though, because like people die all the time. So like.
Oh yeah,
that
there's
means-
gotta be a whole community,
There's what, like how many ghosts? There's gonna be so many
and they're
ghosts.
all
We're always dying.
unanimously having a laugh, messing with the people living.
Having a laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just- someone else dies, a new ghost comes in, and they're like, "Oh, bro, come yay!
Welcome to the party.
Welcome to the ghost squad."
98%
There's like a
of the
group
ghost community is solely dedicated to giving payback to Ashton Kutcher. They're pranking him when he's at home.
Oh no.
Man, I can't find a house that's not haunted. It sucks.
Oh, Ashton Kutcher.
That's rough.
I don't know
actually
who that is.
person.
You know him?
I know
I
that.
don't know who that is.
I know
Or know
that
of him?
I know of him. He was in a movie franchise that I liked, but I don't remember it. I did like it.
That's
I
such a
remember watching
Raven
it.
thing to say.
How do you
That's-
spell it?
We know exactly what movie you mean, Raven.
I remember liking it. I just don't remember what it was. I'm sure if I scrolled through Ashton Kutcher movies, I'd find it, but I don't remember off the top of my head what it was. It was alright.
I actually liked him in. I know a lot of people didn't like the Apple movie that he was in, but I liked him. I thought that was a great film. But
the Apple movie.
other people didn't seem to agree. Yeah, he was in an Apple movie.
Well, Apple-
Was it called the
Like
Apple
a
movie?
movie about
Raven
Wait,
needs to
Apple-
see more movies.
Apple has a movie?
Apple the company. Steve Jobs. He was Steve Jobs.
Oh, I get
Why
what you
would they
mean
make
now.
a movie about that?
It was a movie called Jobs, I think, or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Jaws.
think his was called Jobs. And then what was the
Was it a bad parody
what
of
was the
Jaws?
one with the other one which was also good? It had I can't remember his name, but there was a second movie about Apple and Steve Jobs. And it
Steve
had,
Jobs.
Apple too.
No. It was this
Oh,
actor who
Steve.
plays Magneto in the X-Men. I can't remember his name. It's a great actor. Really good.
I don't recall.
Yeah, I don't know.
No. I don't know. I didn't even know there was a movie about Apple.
But I wonder, I think it might be like Steve Jobs. That might be the name of the movie. Which
I mean,
has got...
makes sense.
Yeah, but come on. to not so long ago have a movie come out about the same exact thing, just with and called Jobs, and then follow it up with a movie called Steve Jobs. Like, that's a slap in the face. That's a slap. It seems.
Maybe they wanted to clarify who they meant.
Maybe
Case some
maybe you
people
didn't hear us
get
the
it.
first time. No.
No, it's
Both
like
though,
the line.
really great. I
Bond, James
actually
Bond.
really love those movies.
They just needed to
Name
repeat
a movie-
themselves.
Michael
Bond.
Fassbender. That's his name. Great actor.
Jesus Christ. Get the hell out of me that. Michael Fassbender!
That'd be what I do if I was a ghost. I'd just yell that at people. They'd be like, "Where'd that come from?"
But like the ghost like TV shows, they're so stupid because they'll be like, what was that? What was that? And then it'll cut to commercial, and then they'll come back and be like, right, it was nothing. What else have we got? Right. So, and then they'll like tease people. They're like, oh, what was that? What was that? There was like
Self
a slight
reviews,
rap-
Raven.
Well, they
Just to
have
be a
to make
slight-
sure you come
like,
back
rough-
after the commercial,
like-
Raven. You can't just
Yeah, but
Wait,
like,
wait.
slight-
What is this? What's going on? Sorry.
Like TV shows about ghosts, there'll be like a slight
Yeah.
breeze, and someone will be like, "Whoa, is there a ghost here? What?" And no, it's just the universe, bro. Like the wind happens. Chill out.
Wind happens. We've all
Raven
learned
is
something
all-
today.
Raven.
Wind
Voices
happens.
are actually the universe.
Yeah. Oh, that was brilliant.
Anyways,
So
going out on a high note, thanks everybody for tuning in to the logic breakdown for you and for sticking around for trivia. Thank you to the mods for jumping on, helping me decompress, get back into the mode of a stream. Felt a little odd coming back from that and looking at all these comments, so thanks everybody. Today was
For
fun.
having us.
Yay.
Alrighty. Take care everybody.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.